Good morning, Detroit.
What's up, Detroit? What's up, Detroit? I'm back in the seat, huh?
That's right. We got Joe. Joe is with us today.
Yeah.
Come
I'm
on,
back
Joe.
in
It's
the
so
seat.
good to have you
Well,
back.
I had to quit hiding around the corner because, leaving you feeling like I'm leaving you stuck out here. And I said, how do I fit
It's
myself
okay.
back in?
The people have been taking care of me, though.
I see.
They've been
I
doing
saw
really,
you.
really good taking
Great
care of me.
shows. Great
Yeah,
shows.
yeah. I really enjoyed having Dennis Bowles last
Oh, yeah.
week.
No, that was a good
Man,
show.
that was really
Good show.
good.
Did Joan Belgrave show. All the
Yeah,
shows were great
Joan
shows.
Belgrave.
You
Yeah,
know?
great
So,
people.
yeah.
But it's good to always have you back here. So we're gonna interview Joe today,
Oh
y'all.
no! Well, we can talk together. We can talk about a million things. I mean, I sit in California and watch the last two or three shows,
Yes.
and I religiously, and it's very comforting just the thought to think about Detroit in the sense that where we're really trying to come from.
Yeah, yeah.
And even this past week, I've seen quite a few things that were happening around town, and I've been saying a lot of things about Detroit since I've been here,
Yeah.
or been back here, and my thoughts is, it's very hard to get together when we're so spread out.
Oh yeah.
When we don't really have a destination that is a group destination for everybody. In other words, we don't have a neighborhood. We don't have a
Right.
community.
Yeah.
We spread out. We separated in such a way that we can't put our resources together. It's always somebody from this side of town, from the other side of town. I mean, that's okay, but I mean, when you're talking about trying to, on purpose, put things together so that it make a difference for everybody, then we have to, kind of try to fit that into an agenda. And at the same time, I come from a time and through a time where in Detroit there was always a leader.
Yeah.
And I don't bite my tongue about saying that because, I mean, I followed a lot of folks. I don't mean in abundance like that. I'm talking about folks that had an agenda,
Yeah.
and were out in the city here in Detroit, putting it together. I heard we were talking earlier before the set about folks be saying, Dennis Bowles.
Yeah.
Was his dad was talking about, it's a shame that we only have the only place that we have to congregate is Burt's. I mean, and that, let me say it without it being a negative.
Right.
Because without Burt, we wouldn't have
Any
nowhere.
place, right?
If
Right.
that's- yeah,
So it's a
nowhere.
good thing to have birds.
And that comes in the sense of saying that we had phenomenal places of folks doing things in different genres
Yeah.
about music and arts
Yeah.
and culture, and to try to fit everything in one little ball, it doesn't really
Right.
work in a city like Detroit.
Right. Right.
And
It's funny that you say that because, sometimes I'll want to go out somewhere and there aren't many places that you can go and hear music. I mean, I used to go hang out at Floods because it was always a nice band hanging at Floods.
somebody was asking
Somebody
me about
was
Floods.
at
I'm like,
Baker's.
I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, but see, you don't know who's down there anymore. It's like now we have to find a place to have like a list of who's who
Right.
and where they're playing and different things like that. So you can see really, really good acts again.
Right.
Some of the people that are doing things down in a city, you really have to contact the person now to find out.
Yeah,
There's no way to know.
but that's always like a fish out of water. In other words, we're at home and we have no direct direction. It's like,
Right.
what we gonna do?
Right.
We go sit in the car and sit there and where we gonna go? Oh, everything is a guess. You
Yeah.
don't get an opportunity to be a part of an agenda that someone's on the other side is saying, let me create this event or this kind of an agenda for the night.
Yeah.
So for those folks that may particularly want to partake in that,
Yeah.
it's like, it's either this or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's okay, to a point. But I mean, the point being is that we have to start thinking in a unity, and really knowing that nobody's going to give us none of the things that we want.
Right,
But we
right.
have the ability to do it
To do it
ourselves.
together. Yeah,
You know, to
yeah.
do it. I know a whole lot of folks right now with a lot of money be talking about what's happening in Detroit. I drop my head and say, you know, there's nothing that I could legitimately promote. I
Yeah.
mean, that I could say that, you know, oh yeah, you can come to Detroit and we're doing this.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, come to Detroit, we're working on it.
Yeah.
You know, we're working on it, and it's going to be like that until we can get it together. You know, and that goes to the conversation that we was having. We had a lot of conversations off.
We talk a lot.
Yeah, and you know, this
Before the
week,
show.
yeah, this week we lost two. We lost
Yes.
two of our folks that I can consider folks that were very pivotal for our movement
Right,
as a
yes.
people. I mean, John Conyers, wow, did so many things for Mr. Conyers, you know, and all my condolences to his family and
Elijah Cummings.
Elijah Cummings.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he lost his mom.
Oh, wow. Right after
His
he...
mom passed, right, you know, yesterday.
Oh, wow.
You know, so, you know, we have to be prepared to keep the fight going, you know, because it is a fight, you know. We got
It's a new day, different. It's a new day, same fight, but we have to learn how to fight in a different way, a way that, for real.
yes.
I mean, I'm just saying, because, you know,
Yes.
I mean, people can still march and picket, but, you know,
we got to
we
get
got social media available now. There's so many avenues available that we can use to protest or whatever we need to do,
and get results.
and get results.
And get some results.
and
I
get
mean, like I
results.
said, I look at the agenda today, and the agenda today for me is the kids in the choir.
Yeah. The
That- I
Detroit
mean,
Youth Choir.
The Detroit Youth Choir, because when I was coming up in Detroit, there were opportunities for me to be able to go perform or to make arrangements to perform or to go and see somebody and learn from that. We don't have that today.
Yeah.
We don't have that. I mean,
Yeah.
folks coming in and out of town with their act and coming and going. We see a lot of folks that are prepared and trying to be a part of something.
Yeah.
But we don't have those places where, you know, folks can go and get that experience and be able to grow.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's real.
It's just a handful, maybe.
just-
you know,
well,
like
yeah.
for the youth, there's the Detroit Youth Choir, but
Right.
then there's the Detroit Choir, the Detroit Children's Choir. That's
Right.
another one in the city.
Right.
And then you have Mosaic. You have the
Okay.
Mosaic program, and then you have Afro. At the Dime.
The Dime.
You have the
yes.
Dime, but
Yes.
you what is his name that works at the Dime?
Drew Schultz.
Drew Schultz.
Okay,
His
now-
program.
Now there's a bunch of programs because I
Yes.
mean there's also some programs at the Detroit Institute of the Black Detroit
Right,
Institute of Arts.
right.
You know, the Black Museum. I mean there are programs and all of that's good. But I mean now we're still disjointed.
Yeah, it still needs to come together
It
to be
still-
like
yeah.
now see what I like to see happen with all of those is maybe one giant talent show.
See, I'm telling
Wouldn't
you.
that be awesome? And then you see all of those kids get together of whatever their group or whatever their troupe is, get together in one building and have one huge show showcasing the talent. That's awesome.
I had some of my friends, my very successful friends in California, was saying about the Detroit Youth Choir, the one that was on the Voice or that program.
Yeah.
He was saying, I wonder how many stars are in the midst of that.
Yes.
Because, I mean, you know, it's like being in a church choir. There's always some folks that come out of those places. But to see the performances
Yeah.
and the attitude for those of us who do that and have done it for a living, and to
Yeah.
see it in a big hunk of energy like that,
Mm-hmm.
it takes some real individualism,
Oh, yeah.
togetherness, and
Yeah.
becoming as one for for it to resound. And then when I say that, I look at the folks looking at it. I mean, the folks like Gabrielle and Union
Yeah.
and that other guy that's been on many of those shows.
Mm-hmm.
And when they get excited about seeing that energy, you know, yeah,
I mean, it is a crazy energy because it's like, ooh, there's hope alive, but that energy just gives you so much life.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. You know, and I was saying that when we did the thing a couple of weeks ago for Norma Whitfield at the and Vinny,
Mm-hmm.
and all those folks were in there. I mean, it was all those folks from the energy of Detroit from the
Yeah,
past, from
yeah,
uh, uh, uh,
The Washingtons,
RJ's latest
Nat
arrival,
Morris,
yeah, all those
everybody.
all those folks that were in that
Yes.
room, you know, the homeboy that was producing Anita Baker,
Oh, yeah,
Michael
yeah,
Powell.
Michael Powell, yes.
I mean, come on. I mean, God has been giving us a whole lot of nuggets here and there, and just sitting in that room, you know,
That was a wealth right there. That was a plethora of Detroit's finest in that room that day.
and representing a lot of folks from the past.
Yes.
There were Dramatics, Tony Green.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we got a lot of representatives, but we got to be able to put it in
Yeah.
in a
Package it up and bring it together so we can all see it. Yes.
Presents Detroit
There we go.
presents.
Now, see, that sounds
See,
good, Joe.
yeah.
See, Joe has tons of really, really good ideas.
Well, I mean, you know,
I like that.
Listen, you know, I want to compete.
Detroit presents.
Yeah,
Or-
Detroit, that's it. Yeah.
Welcome to the show, right?
Yeah, welcome to the show.
That's
So when
right.
people come, they remember and they want to come back.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's more than before I decided to actually move back to Detroit.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking with Barry Gordy, and he was like, "Well, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, I'm still singing." He was like, "Still singing?"
He said, you're supposed to be doing something
You
else
know,
now.
it's Smokey trying to retire. I say Smokey can do anything he want to do. You know, whatever he want
Right.
to do. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I say, but I'm singing because if I don't do what I do, when the opportunity comes, I won't have any connection to be a part of the next move.
Right,
You know,
right.
so I do this I mean, because I was retired before we started doing anything
Okay.
for all intents and purposes.
Right.
And I even learned that retired don't mean nothing.
Right, because it means you're just doing something
You just-
else.
Yeah, you're doing
Finding
yeah.
another way to
See,
do what you
You
love.
can't. If you don't have anything to do, you better do what you do.
Right, yep.
You know, and retire when he tell you you retired.
Right,
You know, but I
right.
mean, and I say retire because I think that there's an energy for folks that are trying to be a part of the next wave of folks that are doing some stuff. So, and that's what I want to do. I want to make sure I want to be in that line. I saw a lot of guys coming up when I was coming up who
Yeah.
were behind me or in front of me and were
Okay.
boosting me up. The Midnighters, Joe Hunter
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
Funk Brothers,
Yeah.
and a lot of folks, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's just the way it should be. But I'm in this crevice where I can feel the separation, and that ain't good. Not in Detroit. You know, in Detroit, it's a place where we should be able to come together.
Yeah,
You know,
that's right,
We
yeah.
came, you know, so you know, and a lot of things are happening now that I'm becoming aware of because I'm seeing folks that have. In these neighborhoods, think like the thoughts that I was thinking. I was
Yeah.
like, "Am I the only person seeing
No.
this? I can't go to a
But here's
grocery
the
store."
thing, people feel powerless, and I don't understand where is that powerless energy coming from, because you have the power to do anything you put your mind to. Watch me. That's all I'm going to say. Watch me.
Yeah.
I do believe that you have the power to do anything you want to do. If you want it, you can have it. But you have to know that you can do it.
You can do it.
And you can't let the defeatist attitude come in. It's supposed to get you. You know, that's what's designed to keep you feeling like you can't achieve it, but you have the power. And the communities can come together, but it has to start somewhere. It may take one person, it may take two people coming together to do it, but the ability to do it is very, very possible.
It's very, very possible. It's
And if you see it, then you can achieve it. You know, the vision is there. So now it's about creating it, and it just needs to be created. And I think it's a matter of talking to the right people.
Yep.
To make it happen.
Yep.
You know, you got we got Joe Pep here. You know, you got Daisy Love right here. But
the hardest part of me is trying to be modest. I don't, you know.
well, I'm
I'd
just
like
saying,
to, you know, I like to go and do it. Let's do it.
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
And when I say let's, I mean I figure it's not just me; it's a bunch of us.
Yes,
And when
yes,
we
it
come
is.
together, then we.
But it takes one person to start the conversation. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
I mean, you know, when I be raising my hand and saying things, folks be like, here come the militancy.
Well, see, now you create
no,
the plan.
it's not militancy.
Right.
It's stuff that we've already created and it's
Right.
laid out. It's sitting there.
Yes.
It's sitting there, and everybody be saying, when is it going to happen in Detroit? Because if it happens in Detroit, it can happen anywhere. Well, you know, it's sitting here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of little things that have been happening recently that, and I guess maybe I shouldn't call them little because they're big things. You know, you have Motown 60, and that's huge. That was a huge, well, that is a huge representation of the years of music that was created here in Detroit. But now it's where do we go from here?
Oh yeah. Well,
Huh?
well, listen. To the next, you know, to the next point.
To the next 60?
Well, you know what? Actually, it's really one day at a time, because we can have a great day today, and it'll be setting us up for the first of the year.
Yes.
You know, so
Yes.
we can knock some walls down, and that's all of this is just in preparation.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because I mean, we're talking about doing things that we're doing already. You know, if people will ask me, why are you still doing it? Well, I'm doing that. What else am I going to do? You know, I spend every moment and every part of my career trying to compete.
Right.
You know, and you don't ever. I saw you on one of the shows. You were speaking to somebody. I think it might have been Spider and Vincent.
Yeah.
When you were talking about, you know, we were doing things back then, not knowing that you're going to be here today, doing
Yes.
what you do, because you know we don't have control of the direct line. We
Right.
just get in the game in that line where, however we follow it and where we go, we say, "I'm where I'm supposed to be." I know I'm where I'm supposed to
Right.
be.
But that, say it.
See,
say
I
that
know
again.
I'm
That's
where
awesome.
I'm supposed
That's
to
right.
be.
That's
You
destiny,
know,
man.
and I feel like I'm doing it all by myself sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I have to understand, and I do understand that, you know, I'm in a situation. Norman Whitfield used to say all the time, you know what? You know, I could see how you inquisitive about things. He say, but I may not be the person to tell you. He
Right,
say, because I can't tell you how and why certain things happen. I can tell you how dedicated I was in me
Right,
to do
right.
the things that I was doing, trying to do what I felt like was going to satisfy me for this particular point in time,
Right,
not knowing that Heard It Through the Grapevine is going to be the number one all-time Motown record for 40 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You
he
know,
was just
now-
he was just creating.
Y-
He was
right.
just doing what he loved to do at that
so
time. Right?
I can't tell you how to react about something that happens positive for you. You say,
Right.
but when you feel it in your heart, when you're making music,
Yeah.
making music is such a phrase that it's bigger than just the words.
Right.
Because you close your eyes and you say, I'm making music. We come up in a time and when everything you did had background music.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in other words,
Yeah.
when you close your eyes and you thought about a subject when you're in the studio writing, you come up with an idea. Okay, I'm gonna do it like this.
Yeah.
And then I can say what I want to say on this pad that I'm playing here. And making music is like living every day without going to to the office or to the plant or to wherever your job is, because it's not a job.
Right.
It's
No.
it's a mission.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's true.
and so if you're positive, if you're on your mission and you're positive with it, then you're gonna constantly be being creative. And I'm just used to being around folks every day, waking up, man, come on, we got to go and do this. I got this idea. You know, I get very tense. I'll put it like that, because I don't let those things bring me down. But I get tense, you know, when I get up and where we going? Okay,
No direction.
okay.
Yes,
We
yeah.
ain't going nowhere. So
Right.
I got to sit another day. You know,
I know. I hear the conversations on the phone. Joe, hey, Joe, what's going on? I'm trying to figure it out right now.
yeah, me and McKinley Jackson, you got, which was it? I mean, we're used to doing stuff. You know, Norman Whitfield would get up, you know, hey man, you ready? Ready? You know, whatever, I'm ready,
Yeah,
you know, because I mean, you don't really know. It's like when we go in the studio, we don't plan what we're going to actually do. We know we're going
We
to
have
do
an
it.
idea, right?
And then when we get in there, it's about, okay, now let's execute.
Right,
So we
right,
start executing. Then we're starting to get that fulfillment. Then
Right.
because you're on your mark. You know, once you say go, then it's on.
Right.
You know, but when you're
Right.
saying go and they know where to go, it's like, oh boy, okay. It makes you appreciate Don Davis and a lot of those folks who say, hey, you're going to studio. You know, I got the studio and ain't nobody in there creating.
Right.
So
right. And that's something, because we have a lot of places that
Yes.
a lot of people have a lot of things, but nothing is happening.
Nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening in those places. And again, like you said, coming together to create something would change that dynamic.
It would change it.
You know, it
Totally.
was, I was thinking about what you were saying earlier. I was looking at a video Tyler Perry put out yesterday, because I listen to all the successful people who come from a place of spirit.
Right.
And intuition and following the goal and the dream. And he was saying that he remembers when he was just writing plays. This is after his success now.
Right.
And he said, I remember when I used to sit and I was writing my plays, and the first play that he produced and put in a theater, 30 people came. I think the place held 1,200 people or something like that. And only 30 people came, and he said he knew every one of those people. He said that happened at least 6 more times, at least. So can you imagine that? Now, Tyler Perry, he says, so you have to stick and hold to your dream and your goals, he says, because if you believe it, if you have that feeling in your heart of something that you're trying to achieve, it will come true. You just have to keep doing the work. It's like planting a seed and watering that seed and watching it grow over the period of time. And then he said, if you plant more than one seed, you have to water each one of those seeds, and it'll take more time to produce the result. Water the one seed, follow that dream, and watch that dream bloom. Then you can start planting your other seeds, and your other seeds will produce just like that first tree. And that was really, really important to me, because I'm always feeling like I'm in a place of transition.
Right.
You know, like I know what I love to do, but I feel like I have so many talents that I just can't do one thing. So I want to do everything, right, Joe? Joe's like, hold on, horsey, hold on. But
you gotta take your time.
you have to take your time, and you have to plan those things out. But you know when you have that feeling, and it's a lot of us out there.
There's a lot of us out there.
And so a lot of the people that have those clubs or studios or organizations and groups and youth choirs and things like that, that have that dream and that desire and that mission in them, and want a place to put it out there or, you know, showcase it. It's about coming together, like Joe just said. If you come together, and for some of the people that have the businesses that want something to do, maybe you should try to consider looking at some of these other acts or these other youth organizations or groups and come together with them to make it happen. You know, sometimes a dream is bigger than just the one person, so you have to come together
Most
to
of the
make that
time.
happen. Yeah.
Most of the time, especially what we're talking about doing, because I mean, it is creatively impossible
Right.
to do it by yourself and compete.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Motown started something a long time ago with their production format, you know, and it was wide open. Some folks were assigned with one another, but you were in an atmosphere where you might just be in the same room with somebody and the ideas jump from one place to another and it formulate.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's, I'm just anxious. I see so much opportunity. You know, here. I mean, Al McKenzie.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Al McKenzie,
yeah.
see, some folks can see it, you know, and commit to that thought that they have there because they know if you can see it, then you don't have to be questioning anything.
Right.
I saw it. I mean,
Yeah.
I still see it, and I sometimes, like even our conversations today, I'm just checking myself. You know, I mean, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
then I was going right back to when Mr. Gordy, I had so many things on my head, and he was saying, "Look, Detroit was special for him."
Yeah.
You know, and when he left and did what he did all that he could do, but he didn't change anything.
Yeah.
It's not that Motown is not here because Motown is the people,
Right. That's
you
right.
know, and even the kids of the folks that were there back in the day, you know, I see some of them today and I smile because I knew their dad or their mom, and, you know,
Right.
and I was like, see, okay.
Yeah.
You know, and those are things that, you know, that really make a difference. I watched all those folks over the weekend when they were celebrating the street naming of David Ruffin.
Oh, wow.
You know, and I
Okay.
think about David. I mean, it just took me. Oh, Lord have mercy! I had some thoughts, and like, you know what? That is satisfactory.
Yes.
That's satisfying. I'm sure, as a person that was riding along with him at that particular time, and he was speeding. I mean, he had this little Jag, and we were on the freeway. 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning,
Wow.
and the lines from the freeway was up here. I was like, "Oh no, I ain't gonna make it." He said,
Wow.
He said, "Calm down, there ain't nobody out here but us." And boom. But I mean, he was so into his craft,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and living life. And for anybody to Marcus Belgraves, all those folks that get those street names, Tommy Hearns,
Yes.
Aretha, you know, I mean, I smile because those folks come out of that era where they were competing in a pot full of all kinds of super
Right.
other
Right.
beings, and
Right.
all of a sudden, you know, you rise. You know, so you never know exactly how the pot is going to boil until
Right.
until it starts whistling.
That's right.
You know,
That's
so
right.
and the steam is coming up.
Right.
But I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not complaining about it. I'm anxious. you
Yeah,
know.
because it's like, what's next?
What's
You know,
next?
it's like, what's next? And so that keeps you excited about what's happening in the
Keeps you
future.
excited, and
Yeah.
it keeps us saying that we're at that halfway mark. We're going to have to take a break right here,
Yes.
and we're going to talk about that belly fat break, that fat burner.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Lawanda,
This is RJ Watkins.
coming to you to bring you some information about the #1 detox in the nation, Lemon Burn. Lemon Burn helps to turn the fat into fit. It's for you, a happier, healthier you, because you know healthy is the new beautiful. An all-natural way to improve your health. It promotes a healthy digestive system, attacks and reduces belly fat, as well as gives you energy. Need to get yours today. Call 313-868-6612.
Don't forget to exercise and eat right.
All right, and we're back with What's Up Detroit.
What's up,
We
Detroit?
want to say thank you, first of all, to our sponsor, because we have sponsors for the show. Lemon Burn.
Lemon burn.
It is really good.
Okay.
I've been doing it, Joe.
Okay.
I've been doing a lemon burn, y'all.
Okay.
Penny Wells asked me, Penny Wells McKenzie said, what are you trying to do? Go back to your childhood way? I was like, not necessarily all the way back, but it'd be nice to, feel a little bit of that. And what I've been doing is just drinking a little bit 3 times a day. It works pretty good. So far so good. I've only been on it maybe 3 weeks now, so we'll see. I'm trying to keep up with LaWanda because LaWanda doing a thing. I mean, she's went back to her childhood weight. I'm like, go on, girl.
Okay.
But yeah, but thank you. We have get the sponsor information out the way, and we're gonna get back here. We want to say also to Miss Pat Lewis, because she was supposed to be our guest on the
Yes.
show today, and she was feeling under the weather, but I want to wish her a very special happy birthday because it was her birthday last
Yes,
week.
yes.
And she's always doing something around town. You guys, if you don't know her, check her out on Facebook.
The First Lady.
Yes, singing everything
That's
with
right.
who? She
That's
sang
right.
with George Clinton,
Well,
the Adantes.
See, me and Pat Lewis spent many a days and nights getting up and knowing that we had something to do.
Yes.
You know,
yeah, but
and-
that's her. And
Yes.
in her conversation on the phone,
Right.
I could tell that about her, even just meeting her.
Yeah.
She's so energetic and such a sweet person. I like her.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
come from that era of doing. We
Yes.
didn't talk about it. I'm in it. Okay, I'm going.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, see, so that's my
Yeah.
girl.
But
Pat
we'll
was-
get her. We'll get Pat on the show with us
Must,
because
it's a
I'm looking
must.
forward to having her
Yes.
come on
Yes.
and then do the 411 on for us. Yes.
Yeah, you can tell her you sang behind Isaac too.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Don't let me ever forget that, Joe. Ooh, that was a dream. But
Okay.
more than Isaac, Patti LaBelle.
Right. See.
Oh my God, that was just such a joy. To sing behind the legend.
See,
Ooh.
I'm telling
All
you.
I needed to do was sing behind Aretha. Didn't get that opportunity, but I
yeah.
love her music and still love her still.
Yes. Yes.
But those are some of the great people that have come my way in my life. And Joe.
Well-
And then actually being able to meet some of the other people. Joe and I was talking about just different artists and whatnot. And
you have a
about
bunch
week,
of them in your family.
about a week ago, no, actually, it was 2 weeks ago. My Aunt Carol, my Aunt Carol Ware, that's Leon Ware's wife, and she called me and she said, Daisy, she said, I put out your uncle's CD, and I was doing it. I was trying to consider how I was going to do it, and she said she didn't want to do a DVD. Oh, not a DVD, but a CD. She wanted to do something different because she felt like over the years how the industry or how the people that market it like iTunes and all of those different people, how they sell the product now. She said it feels like it's cheapened to always do it on CDs and then you can go and buy the song for 99 cents and this
Right.
and she's like she said for her it just felt like it cheapened what the artists do. And since what we do as artists is so important, she wanted to do something unique. So instead of making a CD,
CD, yeah.
she went ahead and she made an album. And this is the new
Vinyl.
album, Vinyl. Yes, she did it in vinyl. And it's a dual CD. It's the last CD that he was working on before he passed away.
Right.
I think after he finished the last recording, I think he died a couple weeks later. And he was so proud of working on this project. I remember calling him a couple times while he was working on it. And he was like, I'm working on my album and I'm almost done. I'm so excited about it. And he wasn't really feeling that hot at the time.
Right.
But he put his last bit of energy into this piece of work. And if you guys know him, then you know he was a phenomenal writer.
Yeah. Right.
A hell of a lyricist.
Yes.
He
yes,
can
yes,
create
yes,
some
yes.
grooves. Oh my God, that was
Yes.
just out of this world. And so it is available. You guys can go online to look it up and purchase it. The album is called Rainbow Dew.
Yeah.
And it's Leon's Ware new album. It's a dual album. I keep saying
Right.
CDs.
Dual album.
Dual album, and it's just beautiful. She put all kind of artwork in there.
Right.
Isn't that awesome?
That's nice.
Yeah. His last photos. This is one of him at home. And some of things that he really loved to do is just being out there with the people.
And a lot of those folks that don't know, Leon Ware did some
Yes.
stuff on
Yes. Well, he's produced Minnie Riperton.
Minnie Riperton,
Yeah, he's
yes.
produced, what is the song? Inside My
Inside
Love.
My Love, yeah.
And several other songs. He produced the Body Heat album with Quincy Jones.
And of course, the Marvin Gaye stuff.
Oh yeah, all the Marvin Gaye.
stuff,
I
yeah.
Want You,
Yes.
and Michael Jackson re-recorded some of his material. What is it? I Want to Be Where You Are.
Want to be where you
And
are.
so you guys are very, very familiar with
Yeah.
his music. People like Jay-Z, and he actually was the producer of Maxwell's hit Something Something.
So, okay.
He and
right.
Maxwell did that together. And so, you know, I miss him,
Yeah.
but
His
his
music
his
lives
music
on.
is a legacy, and it's just something to be, really, really
Right.
treasured down the line. You
Right.
guys might hear me do one or two.
I'm telling you,
If we get the
hurry up and get that
opportunity.
album so we can hear what's on there
Yes.
and springboard it.
Oh
you know.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
because
for
I mean,
sure.
for a guy like that, and I can't even imagine, when you're talking about doing a CD or an album, and you're at that particular point in time in your life, and your only mission is to finish it. See, so
Yeah.
your focus is always is what's important,
Yeah.
and when your focus is on yourself,
Yeah.
that's musical. That's a musical thought there.
Yeah,
Especially if you're a producer.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I think that for his career and his legacy, that is something that I would want to get to. In fact, I'm gonna order it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I just want to have it as a collection
Yeah.
because I want to feel what he was feeling when he was doing his
Oh
last
yeah.
music.
Think
see?
about that.
Yes,
Think
of
about that,
course,
Joe.
Of
I mean,
course.
now he was sick. He did an album before this one, and it was the Moonlight album.
Right.
That album was off the hook.
Yes.
Because when he came here to perform in Detroit, he
Right.
performed a couple of the songs at the show. But that album, oh my God, I was transported with Leon Ware into his mindset. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't typical. It's
Right.
like when he told me about the lyrics to Inside My Love, he said his idea for the thought of the song was the relationship that he had with Jesus Christ
Right.
and the church, and how they're always saying, come to me, or God is saying, come to me, I just want to have this relationship with you, and we can grow together and we could become one.
Right.
He said the thought was spiritual. It wasn't what we think of it
Right.
as a sexual,
Yes.
it's like
Yeah,
a seductive
human nature.
human nature.
Yeah.
But he said it was about the relationship with Jesus Christ. And he wasn't necessarily a real religious person or anything like that. And that's probably why that perplexed him so much. Because he was like, how could we become one? And the lure and of being one with spirituality or being one with Christ made that song what it was. You can see inside me. Will you come inside me? Do you want to ride inside my love? And this just blew my mind when he told me that story. And
Right.
I was like, wow, I would never have known that if you had never said that,
Right.
because I was still thinking about
Is it a creative? That's a creative state. When
Yes.
when you really get down to it, you really want
Mm-hmm.
to say this, and it comes out over here.
Right, right.
And that that makes you think. And,
Right,
And when
right.
you're thinking about a lyric and a subject, then you want to say, oh yeah. Every time somebody says a phrase,
Yes.
oh yeah, like you got it. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, and that's the point.
Yes.
And I can just the way you was explaining it, I can say, oh yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
See,
See?
so
Yes.
and that's
Right.
that's the point in making music, So
Right.
you just want folks to say, oh yeah, I thought of that. I wish I
Right.
had said it like that, or I used to say that all the time, But it's about that person that's the first one to the egg,
Right, right.
And you can tell that it wasn't just Moon June Spoon,
Right.
You
no.
know, he was doing some deep thinking,
Deep
you know,
thinking.
because and when you listen to Minnie Riperton singing that song, you can tell that she knew it. You know, she was inside of where his head was.
Yes.
See, so I mean,
my God.
yeah, because it sounded like something that the singer would have written. You know, how are you going to think? Come inside me, could you come inside me?
But think about the song, I Want You.
That's it. All right.
I want you the right way. I want you, but I want you to want me.
too.
Right?
That's right. That's. I mean, and
Them lyrics,
the
man.
lyrics. I
How many
mean,
times have we said that without saying that?
because or how many times have you talk about your wants and you always remember that if don't let your wants hurt you.
Yes.
See, so you make it valid.
Come on.
Yeah, you make it valid, and those are a lot of the things that I'm missing creatively in lyrics today. I mean, no. Let me say this right. So, I don't want folks to think that it's not happening.
Right.
I
Because
mean,
we do
it's
have some
happening,
great
but
lyrics.
we don't have the folks like we used to have that can go on the radio and say, "Check this out."
Right.
Bang.
Right.
Check this out. You know, folks are playing some stuff boy, on the radio. I'd be like,
Have you heard Beyonce's new one? Well, I'm sorry, I've been listening because
Who?
Beyonce, she did some songs for The Lion King. Oh my God, lyrical. That really nice.
Okay.
Really nice. And I know she writes and produces a lot of her music.
but her artistic abilities
Yes.
to comprehend and transform is phenomenal.
She's got this song called Bigger. She said, one of the lyrics says, life is your birthright. They miss that in the fine print, or they put that in the fine print. Take the chance and rewrite or something like that. It's awesome. Awesome. But the lyrics are deep. We sang it at church. That's how deep it is.
Okay.
You know, it actually, for the young people that are listening to it, they're learning without even realizing they're learning.
You're right.
Ooh.
It's right.
Just
It's a technique. You know, and music is spiritual.
Yes.
You know, I mean, and that's why it's automatically a part of our culture.
yeah.
You know, we in time and rhythm and rhyme, and we make everything a part of our music. You know, your conversation it's got music in
Yeah.
it. You know, you just have to be able to be in that space, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
or bring that space into your being, you know.
Right.
That's musical.
He said that's music.
That's musical.
So
yeah.
you are music.
Yes, I'm music.
Joe is, I'm music.
See, yeah, you see, and that's what it's all about, you know.
My name is Daisy Music Love.
There it
It's
is.
Joe Music Pep Harris.
all the time. I can't hear somebody say, "What you doing now?" I'm still doing what I'm doing. I'm learning,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to put myself in a situation to help those that want to learn, that have
Right.
the ability to keep it going, because I
Right.
know that those are the things that can make your life better.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
where you can really find your purpose.
Oh yes.
You
yes.
know, you can.
Well, there's one of the songs that we did too. I'm just rambling on
Okay,
about
well,
songs. See,
that's
you
all
started
right.
me on the songs, Joe. I'm sorry, but we did the song "The Truth Gonna Set You Free."
Okay.
And the lyric says, "The truth will set you free. Don't you want to be free?" That, for you guys that don't know, you got to check out the new Undisputed
I'm
Truths
telling you.
album. It's called "Truth's Gonna Set You Free." But the lyrics in that song, deep. That
Yes.
is the new Smiling Faces.
Yes.
That's the new Smiling Faces for 2019.
That's. I mean, when we first heard it, we was like, "Woo."
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
And Joe laid it down too. You guys got to hear. You can always go and check it out on iTunes or Amazon or on our website.
Well, we
right?
got something you can buy now. You can keep.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can go get it.
Okay,
You-
get it.
those are download streaming platforms. You
Yeah.
can get
Oh,
the
yeah.
music. Yes.
Right.
So it's always a
Okay.
good thing to you got to talk about your song, Joe, because that's hot right
I'm
there.
telling you, I'm ready to sing.
Joe's smiling like a school kid over here.
I'm telling you, it's kind of hard being modest, but and I can talk about a lot of other folks in doing their music,
Yes.
but I like to say, go get it, go get it.
He said, "Go get it."
and then
And
tell.
he sounds good too. I mean, I think the thing that surprised me most about working with you when I first started working with you is that you sounded just like I heard you on the records.
Well,
I said, "Man, he sounds really good." I told Jackie that too, and I guess I was kind of geeky at the time.
let me say this. Lou Rawls was a really good friend of mine, and I remember this time when Norman and I were in Vegas, and you'll never He was singing that song, You'll Never Find. I love, but when he got to Vegas, he was the melody was all over the place. I was
Wow.
like, that's the song I want to hear, you know.
Yeah.
And but he had a different way of deliver it, and then he told me, he said, look, a whole lot of folks want to sing that song. He said, so I got to the habit where I've got people singing along, and I try to sing it so that it's easier for them.
Yeah.
You know, he said, he said, I sing it 4 and 5 times a night.
Okay.
You know, but I mean, my act is a part of making the people become a part of my act,
Yeah.
you know, for what it is. He said, so I don't do the normal R&B or bluesy thing. He said, I'm gospel.
Oh, wow.
You
Yeah.
know, and he goes and when I think about what he was doing and going to his roots.
Yeah.
You know, he said, so I go to my roots. He said, so I never pretend to be a singer. I'm a singer of songs, but I'm not
Right.
a singer.
Got you.
You know,
Got
he
you.
say so, but I can deliver a lyric. And he say there's always going to be in an audience somebody that's not going to like exactly the way you're doing what you're
Right,
doing.
that's true, yeah.
He say, but I have to try to find a way to do. He say, even the way you're saying it now, because that lets me know that you really appreciate my records.
Yes.
He said, but this is live. He
Right.
said,
And
Vegas.
in live, I can do whatever I
Right.
want to do.
He say, and Vegas, and I got this little drink here, whether I'm drinking it or not.
Right,
I'm not
right.
drinking. He say, but still, you'll never find
rhythm.
love like yours
Yes.
and mine. I was like, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
He say, but I mean, you know, and I just thought that I was listening to a different song.
Yeah.
But when I understood what his act was about, you know, I was like, okay, so
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know, I mean, Lou Rawls, I was in junior high school when if you ever change him and Sam Cooke.
Oh, wow.
You know, so I was like, okay, leaving. I always thought
Come
it was
on
Bobby
now.
Womack, you know,
Really?
but it was Lou Rawls.
I don't know. Who did I first hear that sing? Oh, Lord, bring it to me. Bring.
Your sweet
I don't know.
love, that's
Bring
Lou
it on
Rawls
home.
and Sam Cooke.
Was it?
Yes.
I had no idea, boy.
baby.
Joe schooling me right now.
No, I'm just, you know, but I say these things
didn't know that
because,
was them.
you know, when you know some folks, that's when you can really learn a
Yeah.
lot of things. You know, I learned a lot of things from Michael Jackson.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Who's still one of the baddest. I was listening to Thriller on the way here. It's Halloween, you guys, too, just in
Yes,
case you don't know. But I was listening to the Thriller. That is one of the baddest tracks produced.
Billie
One
Jean.
of the baddest.
Oh yeah, Thriller. and
Thriller.
Billie- yes.
I grooved on doom to doom. Boom, all the way here. That track is one of the baddest tracks out
telling
there.
you.
To this day,
I'm telling you.
I still enjoy Thriller.
I'm telling
I even
you.
try to do the routine.
I'm telling you. You know, I mean, it's just a lot of we put rock study in our act.
Oh,
Now, let
yes,
me tell
we
you
sure
something.
did.
Let me tell you
Yes,
something
Rock
about
Steady ain't
that.
no joke either.
When we were in New York, way back in the day, when BJ and Billy Calvin and I were in the group, we were with Norman. We were going into not the 20 grand. I keep saying the 20 grand.
Uh-huh.
But we're going into the Apollo with Smokey Robinson and the Miracles for that show.
Okay.
And that first 2 days that we were in New York, Norman Whitfield was there with us.
Okay.
So we went to a recording session where I was with Norman, and it was for Roberta Flack and
Okay.
the folks at Atlantic Records. So we were sitting in there, and they was playing the track, and I was like, "Dang, that track is killing!"
Yeah.
But the singer was
Oh,
Roberta
right.
Flack.
Oh, wow.
And Norman went to the guy that was a white guy that was producing, and he was like, Norman said, "Man, that's a tough track." He said, "But that ain't the kind of stuff that she do."
Yeah.
You know, and he just off the cuff said, "Man, that stuff is raw. You know, that stuff's got to be for somebody like Aretha."
A raw vocal.
And the next
Somebody
thing,
know how to
I
handle
heard
that track.
Next time I heard that track, Aretha was doing it.
Wow.
I mean, and it was one of those. Here I am. You know, and Norman looked at me and I didn't say nothing. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
He said, I wonder if he's going to call me and say, because that song was really a huge, I mean, in the day when we did the Aretha Franklin tributes, everybody rock study.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
see, so, you know, there's just so many things that become pivotal that you never know it's going to have any kind of meaning or intent. I think about often one of the most impressive people that I met when I was coming out of high school and starting back to singing was your uncle. I met
C.P.
him.
Spencer?
C.P. Spencer.
Yeah.
He was with.
That's
he
a
was
long
singing.
line on
Baby,
there.
he was singing with the Royal Jokers there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went and saw this group of guys with different personalities and different vocal tones.
Yes.
Him and Willie Jones were singing in the tops, and the rest of the guys and all those other guys in there, they had their own. But it was just something about the delivery when they did the act that
Wow.
made me realize that certain folks, it takes a certain kind of person to have in some of these groups. When you think about Hank Dixon, you know,
Yeah,
once you get
yeah.
to know him,
Yeah.
he was like, you know what, he had to be in the originals.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and when they were doing Baby, boo-doo-doo, we
Baby and
were.
Pharrell.
I was with Martha Jean.
Okay.
She was managing me in the Peps then, and they had this other song on the Bells.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I
You
hear
know,
the bells.
and we went and asked for some. We wanted to record it, so we
Okay.
went over there to get some permission to record at Pete Hall.
Okay,
and
okay.
they wouldn't give it to us. So the next thing you know, they put that song out on the originals.
Oh, wow.
Smash!
Yeah, yeah.
Smash! You know, and that's a lot of things about stuff that actually ends up in the can or coming out of the can, because certain folks have a privy to be able to listen to a lot of. Martha
Right.
Jean would get a lot of those songs that they would send over, saying, "What you think about this?
Really?
What you think about?" A lot of
Wow.
DJs, a lot of the DJs would get things, that would help the
That
record
was like the
company.
DJ pool for
Right.
Motown. Yeah, got you.
You know, what you think about this, what you think about that, because a lot of things would be on the B side,
Mm-hmm.
and the record company feels stupid when they put a record out and say, "We promoting this," and the DJ turn it over.
Oh, wow.
And it becomes a big hit, and the
The
record company
B-sides.
say, well,
Wow.
But so, just being progressive, Motown, they looked at it in all kind of ways.
Yeah,
They said,
yeah.
well, let the DJs. They're going to eventually have the ability to play whatever they want to play.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
be smart and get a heads up before it's out there to be, played like that.
Wow.
And the originals, original. In
Yeah.
fact, I was saying that because the George Ramsey, who used to be their road manager,
Okay.
I'm talking to him. I'm gonna try to get him to come on the show.
Oh, nice.
And talk about the
that
originals.
would be
yeah.
so nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because those guys got legacies,
Yes.
and I want somebody that was there to be able to talk for all of them.
Yeah. He has a son that looked just like him. Yeah, Chris. His name is Chris Spencer. He probably be mad because I'm saying his name, but Chris looks just like Uncle Tenny, just like CP. I'm telling you, you'd be like, whoa. Same timbre to his voice, but he doesn't sing.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of voice is a rarity.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned to appreciate about a lot of the talent that came from Motown in terms of the voices. It was real specific and real direct and on purpose when they found those voices, because they needed the unique sound.
Someone that could control it. It was so
Yes.
many people that had the ability to sound alike.
Yes.
But those folks that had the ability to turn it into a character and
Oh,
to be
yeah.
able to utilize it so that it's always me when you hear me.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's unique.
Yeah, and I think that's what keeps me in love with Gladys Knight.
Right,
Because I
of
love,
course.
oh my God.
Yes, one of
I don't
those
think there's too many
exceptionals.
songs she's ever sang that I didn't like.
Right.
I always try to mimic her. I'm not a Gladys Knight, but
she can
but
deliver a
Gladys
song.
is the one.
She
And
can-
even up to this day, I saw a video on YouTube of her doing a live concert. And
Mm-hmm.
she was doing some songs from Motown. She just kind of like put them in a medley.
Mm-hmm.
She did a couple Luther songs as well. But she still sounds the same. Nothing has changed about her voice.
She knows the character.
It even sounds stronger,
Yes.
which blew me away.
There's confidence in the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But Joe,
Yeah.
Joe's grooming me to do that.
Well, I'm looking at this clock flashing at us over there.
We talking too much, Joe.
No,
We
we're not.
talking-
We're good. We're good. We're good. That's what's up, Detroit. We're just trying to here to tell you about it and be about it.
That's right.
It's been our pleasure being here with you this week. We hope
Yes.
to see you next week. We would have a live guest with us.
Yes, yes.
Someone that's be interesting from the past or someone from the future.
Yes, yes.
That's what
so
we're about.
stay tuned with us, and we appreciate you guys watching us and tuning in and being consistent followers on our Facebook page. Yes, The Real Undisputed Truth.
.com.
Or yeah, the realundisputedtruth.com is our webpage. You guys can go and join us and, send some questions. We'll be here again. Like I said, we got Ms. Brenda Wilson coming up on one of our shows.
That's right.
I can't wait to talk to her because I was a huge fan of Jackie Wilson's music. It's so much so that
So
I
was
went
I.
out and bought some at the resale the other day.
Okay.
And, I just love listening to his voice.
Okay.
There's one guy who sounds like, I'm sorry, I'm just rambling on, ain't I?
Jackie Wilson?
Sounds like Jackie Wilson. Yeah, his name is Carter.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Carter, come on, help me with the name.
With somebody with Jackie G. His family, right?
Yes.
Okay.
One of the Carter brothers. Anyway,
right.
we're going to check you out next week. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you next week on What's Up, Detroit?